is the Pay Me No Mind show, and I'm here with my man Adam. You want to go at Adam Lee or Adam Sperber?
Well, it's Adam Sperber.
Okay. Of the Boxing Voice.
That's it.
You can check him out tonight on his coverage for those guys. Right now, he's talking with me. I'm in here in town with my wife again, and we just left the Barclays. We've had some drinks at Cobblestones. Let me ask you this, man. What was your thoughts on the first round of the main event with Adrien Broner and Mikey Garcia? What did you see in the first round that kind of threw me off?
Right away, Mikey Garcia seized control of the fight. Was throwing fast, hard combinations at Adrien. I think Adrien was a little surprised with Mikey's accuracy, Mikey's work rate, and again, Adrien has been not for nothing a little bit unstable, unpredictable in his previous fights.
Right.
And he's fighting a guy who could potentially be a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter. So in his first round, it was a wake-up call for Adrien, I thought, in a way. And I think it was a wake-up call that he wasn't expecting and he didn't like.
Were you shocked at Garcia's behavior in the first round? Because he started a little slow. He stayed outside, willingly. Mm-hmm. Were you shocked, or did you just expect him to kind of be getting a feeler for Adrien?
I think Mikey Garcia's team had a lot of respect for Adrien Broner.
Okay.
I think they acknowledged what he brings to the table, his speed, his power, his 4 championships in the other weight divisions. So they were going to be reckless against Adrien Broner. And if you listen to the interviews leading up to the fight, one which I did on the Boxing Voice, Mikey Garcia will tell you that they respected Adrien Broner as an opponent. So, no, he didn't look at him as an easy mark. Somebody that's going to come and take it to him easy. So he was trying to play it smart, but he was letting his hands go.
Okay. So let's move beyond round 1. Obviously, Garcia started to pick it up in round 2, and maybe for the next 6 to 7 rounds. Mm-hmm. But what do you see going on in that portion of the fight?
I saw an Adrien Broner who was looking to counterpunch, which has been his MO since he came on the scene.
Yes.
I think, though, unfortunately, his counters were not landing with the frequency that he was used to when he was a young and up-and-coming fighter. He's a split second, or you can say a millisecond off with landing those counters. And I think that may have frustrated Adrien throughout the fight.
Now, personally, I thought Adrien went away from the body work maybe in the 7th through 10th, 8th through 11th, somewhere in there. I felt like the body work was non-existent. And obviously, he wasn't going to slow Mikey Garcia down, who we perceived as the smaller fighter, less athletic, so on and so forth. What did you see happening in that time period?
I saw Mikey Garcia take control as the boss in the ring. And you mentioned body work before. I think that what happened was Adrien became very. He said, "You know what? This dude came up from a lightweight to junior welterweight, and he's got some power. And even though I'm blocking a lot of his shots, he got a lot of steam on him, and he's a talented fighter." And Adrien also approached it as a very cautious person, so he wasn't throwing his hands like, we're used to, because he was afraid to get countered by Mikey. He didn't want to go down to the body because he didn't want to get clipped, in my opinion.
Okay, so I made, in my opinion, I'm looking at Adrien Broner. I'm looking at, like I told you on the train ride back, I'm looking at it as Syracuse in that 2-3 matchup zone. They got behind big, playing Duke, who shoot 3-pointers and knocking them down. And then he had to try to play catch-up, and it didn't work out well. How did you see the last 3 rounds playing out?
Yeah. Well, Adrien, one thing you can't say about, he's a dog in a ring. Mm-hmm. And he knew he was behind. I'm sure his corner, Mike Stafford, let him know he was behind. And he came out guns blazing in the last 3 rounds, and he looked really good in the last 3 rounds. To be honest with you, incredible speed. He was touching Mikey. He was hitting Mikey to the body, and I was about 5 rows behind ringside, and Mikey did not like those body shots that Adrien was hitting him with. If Adrien was able to box in that manner throughout the course of the fight, through the whole 12 rounds, then we're looking at a very close fight, if not a Broner fight.
Where do you see Broner going from here?
Well, Broner is always a moneymaker. Unfortunately, with the loss tonight, he's going to be relegated to B-side going forward, in my opinion. But listen, dude's very wealthy, still make money right now. I don't know if he's going to stay at junior welterweight or go back to a welterweight, whatever it may be. But you're going to see him as a B-side. But, again, they can rebuild him. They can put him against somebody that's not on his level, maybe get him a victory, and then put him again in another big fight. But I don't think this is the last that we've seen in Adrien Broner. He needs to be rebuilt up,
rebranded,
repackaged, etc. But I think ultimately, when he's fighting other guys that are pound-for-pound type fighters, I don't think he's going to be successful, unfortunately. And that has to do with the fact that his fighting style, he's a counterpuncher. He relies on split-second counterpunches. And even at his age right now, what is it, 28?
28. I think he just turned 28 yesterday.
He just turned 28. That millisecond that you're missing on your counter may be the cause of him swinging out of air.
Now, you're a New York guy. Obviously, earlier on the card, we had Jarrell Miller, big baby. I think he got the 8-round TKO TKO over Gerald Washington. He never did quite get his name right at the press conference, but an interesting fight. I thought it was good that Gerald Washington seemed to take his last stand in that 6th round, did a lot of banging, and I was shocked to see Big Baby active offensively that late into the fight. Being that he weighed in at 298.
You know what? That's the biggest thing about Big Baby. He's a big dude, but I mean, he's got so much stamina. I mean, he kept throwing punches. You'd think somebody his size would gas out.
Yes.
And I think Lou DiBella kind of recapped it the right way. He's a big dude, but he's got a lot of stamina. Not every punch is a knockout shot, but he keeps coming. And not only that, there was times in the fight where Gerald Washington made stands and was putting his hands on Big Baby Miller, and Big Baby was able to absorb those shots and keep moving forward. So something about his, whatever it is, conditioning, maybe his previous background in the martial arts, whatever it may be, but he's got incredible stamina, he's got an incredible engine, and he's got a really solid chin. So if you ask me if there's going to be a Deontay Wilder Big Baby Miller fight, that's something I'll be excited about. And that's something that Brooklyn and the city will come out to as well.
Okay. Who else did we have on there? What was the third fight?
We had Jermall Charlo.
Yes. I forgot about
first
that.
First fight at middleweight.
At middleweight.
And I mean, I was at ringside, so I didn't hear that his opponent Highland had an injury.
Okay.
But Jermall, with his combinations, his hand speed, his accuracy, both those Charlo brothers, Jermall tonight, I mean, these guys are terrors. Power, speed, discipline, technique. And with tonight's victory, Jermall has the number 1 WBC rating, which means that he's in line for the winner of Canelo and Triple G. Now, Canelo's not taking the WBC title.
I thought they worked something out today.
No, they're not.
But you might be right.
He's not.
Okay.
And the WBC title's not on the line. So if Canelo was to win, that would be interesting to see where it would go. But Jermall Charlo, I think he's entering right now his prime, and the Charlo brothers are people to look out for real.
Out of those two, who do you think Charlo is more trouble for? Because I got the sense in the post fight, but I got the sense in the post fight that he was a little. He got in his feelings a little bit of that Canelo ran from him from 154.
So what makes the Charlo brothers so successful could also be their kryptonite. They're very emotional. They carry a chip on their shoulder, and I think that's what makes them so impressive. However, if they were to be knocked off their game the slightest, they're in the ring with a Triple G or a Canelo, and they had trouble through a couple of rounds and they were thrown off their game, how are they going to react? We don't know that right now. If they were to get rocked, how are they going to react? We don't know that right now. But everything that I'm seeing from the Charlos right now and what I'm hearing from them, I like. These are two guys to look out for in the future, in my opinion.
All right, we getting ready to shut this down. Anything else stand out to you tonight? Katie Taylor came out, looked really great against Clarkson. That probably was somewhat expected. We didn't see Richardson Hitchens. Help me out here. Who else did we see tonight?
And which was important. Washi Warren with a big victory tonight.
Yes.
Got a Mando position, beat a tough opponent. So he's gonna be a mandatory for a title next, which he deserves, which I was real happy to see. He had those 2 fights with Payano. The first one, lost the title in the second one, so he's gonna be back. And,
no. He won the title in the second one, then lost it to Zakayanov.
Right, that's it. That's
but
correct.
Is there any chance? Did you see anything that suggests that he could?
He's a super talented fighter. Great amateur background. Keep your eyes out for Rasheed Warren, and that's a very crowded and talented division. So, for your hardcore boxing fans that like the lighter weights, keep your eyes on that division.
We get ready to shut this down. Did I leave anything else out?
I don't think so. All I gotta say was there was, I think, 12,000. Lou DiBella announced the attendance as 12,000 tonight, which is excellent. If you look at the Kovalev Ward fight at the Mandalay Bay, what did they draw, 7,000 or something like that?
Something like that.
People turn out to fights at the Barclays. It's becoming a centralized hub for the fights in New York City. So for everybody in the East Coast or around the USA, you want to draw a great night of boxing with great boxing fans, come out to Brooklyn, because Barclays is where it's at.
Now let me ask you this before we do get out of here. Brooklyn. And we're standing here
in Queens,
3 miles north of 8507 Queens Boulevard.
That's it.
My accent was messed up right there, babe. But, and I'm gonna edit this part out. But there was a question I had for you.
Go ahead.
And I was
Queens Boulevard.
Queens Boulevard.
Queens.
What was I getting ready to ask you
Go
about?
to Queens. Queens Boulevard. McDowell's.
Nah, it was boxing related. It was boxing related.
Right? Queens.
No, it wasn't
New York
Queens.
City boxing? Madison Square Garden?
Damn. Trying to be funny.
Forest Hill Stadium?
Excuse me?
Forest Hill Stadium?
No. There was something that happened tonight I wanted to get your thoughts about.
At the arena?
Yeah.
Well, this is very interesting. You want to shoot this real quick? Dimitri Andre was there, who is a 154-pound title holder. And after the Charlos won, they actually, Andrade approached the Charlos about a fight with Jermall, who's a 154-pound champion. And the Charlo brothers and Andrade do not like each other. Loud verbal altercation by the media room carried out, and the Charlos both left the arena pissed off. They do not like Demetrius Andrade, and that's another fight that we want to see in the future. Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade. And what's interesting about Jermall is his mandatory in the fight that most likely will happen is against Erickson Lubin, which will be an undercard of Austin Trout and
Jarrett
Hurd, who I spoke to this evening. So boxing fans,
Hurd was in the building?
Hurd was in the building. You can go to boxingboys.com. That interview will be up. And we should be in September seeing a great doubleheader of Jermall Charlo, Austin Trout, and Jarrett Hurd,
yes.
Austin Trout, Jermall Charlo, Erickson Lubin. That's a fight card y'all don't want to miss.
Last question. How do you see the 2017 as it's been as hot as it has?
Best boxing, probably the best year of boxing we've seen in 20 years.
How do you see it closing out?
I know, speaking to Steven Espinoza, that Showtime, which has been, not for nothing, through the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight and now the Mayweather-McGregor fight, making so much money and being able to put that money back into boxing. Steven Espinoza told me throughout October, November, and December, we will be seeing more big fights, more Showtime budget money going in. So look to see Sean Porter again. Look to see Keith Thurman's going to be out. Hopefully we can see Sean Porter and Adrien Garcia and other big fights coming throughout the end of the year. So it's going to be a little slow during the fall, but to close out the year, we're going to see some big fights. I don't know what's going to be on the HBO side. HBO and their budget for boxing has been questioned, but Showtime, we're going to see some big fights.
All right, we'll wrap it up with that.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Reggie Woodson. You know me, the host of the Pay Me No Mind show. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so I can keep giving you hot content in the future.